So this deal here that we found it 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, this was a duplex zoned. So it had what I thought it had two doors, and I thought it was a block home. And here in Florida, block homes, two doors, duplex. Oh my God, I don't care what it looks like inside. I know this is money. So I did find out that the owner did pass. So that I knew. And then his wife passed, right? So I found some family, but it was just dead end, dead end, dead end. And then Alex joins this call this year. No, sorry, it was late last year. And I'm like, dude, you have to help me. I'm like, I have this one. If you can do this, I will send you 30. We're working on 30 right now. Okay, that I picked up in Sift alone, like just from the data from there.
This property came from Driving for Dollars, from First to
Nope.
Market, from like Sift or anything like that, or
So it originally came to me through Driving for Dollars. So that's
okay,
where
got it,
driving.
got it, got it.
So now we know because my husband knows you better not bring me I want it dilapidated. I want it really bad. At this point, 6 years in, in the beginning, we used to be like, oh, it looks ugly. No, I want it like something is really like, no.
Yep,
Okay. That is how we do our driving for dollars now. It needs to, in order for me to say, yep, this one gets approved and it gets going down the conveyor belt, if you will. There was no mortgage, so it would not go into, let's say, my pre-foreclosure FTM, first to market.
yep.
At this point, I took my first to market challenge, which again, if you guys, I don't get paid by saying this, but I'm just telling you, if you haven't taken the first to market challenge, please, I beg you to do that because then your brain will start, going crazy in a good way. And you start literally getting in front of these type of people that you need to focus on as opposed to bulk. I have always done bulk, 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 everything, right? But then I started hitting major brick walls, if you will. So now I only do niche and driving for dollars only because we're in our backyard. We take advantage of it. And my husband, we're full time into our wholesaling business. So I hate to say it, he only works one day a week if that, and he's in the other room, so let's not talk too loud.
No,
But
okay.
job with it. But the point is, like, since it's his full time, he can totally go out there and spend the day. It's not a big deal for him. We are blessed to have that as our other first to market, so to speak, because we get our eyeballs on these houses. So anyway, so that's how that started. And then that property got into my first to market with tax delinquent. He was behind 3 years. So somebody was paying this, but then something happened and then somebody stopped paying it. We thought that it was the wife maybe paying for it. We didn't know. Okay. So now that we know that the property well, we thought it was abandoned. There is a squatter in there. So we thought it was abandoned. I'll tell you, gosh, this took us through a lot, but we made it and we made money, so I'm happy. Um, so anyway, so we couldn't find the heirs. We couldn't find the heirs. We were, reaching out to every single person that we can think of. And then Alex came into the picture in November of 2025, I'm gonna say. And I said, if you can do this, if you can find me the heirs, we obviously we're gonna JV at 50-50, split every penny. And then I'm going to open up the doors and give you the rest of the ones that I cannot find, high and low. I couldn't find it. So
Yep.
I can't speak on Alex on what the heck he did, but he came back and the heirs were in the United Kingdom, UK.
Oh wow. Okay. This is already a crazy one.
I could not believe that he found them. And it was two sons. The two sons did not, they still live in in the UK. Actually, we're really friends now on WhatsApp. Um, we get on a Zoom call. I never really get on Zoom calls with sellers, but I tell you guys, get on Zoom calls with your sellers. I'm telling you, yeah, that really brings in a lot of credibility. They feel like, wow, you're real. It's not just a phone call. It's not just, um,
So the initial outreach, you guys got the phone numbers, which makes sense why you guys couldn't find them very easily because they were in the UK. I'll show you guys some different examples of this, but once you did that, did you just WhatsApp them because you realized they were in the UK, I'm guessing?
Yes, so Alex spearhead that, and it was so amazing to have. This is why I tell you guys, like, if you don't have a big team and you don't want, like what Ty was saying, sometimes you don't want to hire all of these big people. I'm always about profit first, in my business because I don't want to like overextend myself. And then now it's like, yeah, cool, we'll make 50,000, but I'm coming home with only five. Like, that's not going to work for me. I want to come home with 48, you know? Like honestly, like literally, we run lean and mean, and that's how we hit numbers that we hit because I do not hire anybody. So I will rather JV with you on these deals. And sure, I'm giving, 50% of my profit, but I don't care. It's worth every penny. So I don't see it like a loss, if you will, if I had maybe an acquisition or somebody, but Alex was fantastic on the phone with these guys.
And then from there, you guys offered you a portion of each of them, or like a 3K buyout or something? What did
Yes. So originally we were going to do that, what Alex's expertise. I told him, I said, I feel like we should just wholesale this. I have my buyers already. They want it. We just have to clear title here. So I personally did not want to spend the money out, whatever. And the guys, and by the way, I'm one that I do work with my attorney really closely. And I said, the last thing I want to do is pay out these guys and then we still don't have clear title because this guy had married some lady over here and I didn't know if she had any children or not. So we were still kind of a little bit on a hurdle here. So it wasn't so clear and clean as we thought. Hey, we can give you guys, we gave them, I think it was like $3,500 each.
Okay. So how many people did you guys buy out of this?
Five.
Okay. So just to summarize for everyone, I know people are jumping into. So curative title deal. Dad
Mhm.
passes away, probably a divorce. They had children there, and there were five children in the United Kingdom. They all came from the
No,
UK.
there's only two that we had to pay out the wife's brothers. That
Okay.
comes later. That comes later.
Okay, sorry. Two sons, three
Yes.
brothers, or three
Yes.
siblings, probably a better way to say it. And whole family is in the United Kingdom. Dad moves to the US for some reason, gets a home, passes away. Home is abandoned. We come in and we offer a set amount for each of these five heirs, which are the two children, three siblings.
Mhm.
Continue on.
Yes. So the
Your wife.
siblings come from this. I know the siblings come from his second wife. So now they're really pissed because
Yep.
my attorney said, "Hey, in the state of Florida, he died married to this lady, so it goes to her. But now she's dead. So now they didn't have any children together. She didn't have any children of her own. So now it goes to her brothers, her siblings." So we were like, wait a second, what? Like, this is under, it wasn't even under that wife's name or anything. But my attorney said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to break laws. Like, this is the way it goes. Right. So
Yep.
I'm really, really angry about this. But now Alex and I have to pay more money because we thought we were going to be in this deal for like 15,000 bucks, and now this is coming out to be like a little bit more. So yeah, so now the brothers of the lady didn't even know that she was married, and now they're money hungry, so to speak. I mean, I'm just saying, you got money coming out of the thin air, but now they're turning crazy, and they're like, they would not sign the contract. So that's really what dragged it all along. And I said, I don't want to pay anybody crap until we know that this is going to close because I'm
Got
not
it.
of losing money. So you see where I was kind of holding Alex and saying, no, I'm not paying these guys out. The normal way. And him and I talked about it after we closed and we said, shit, we should have probably just paid them out and be done. But we were dragging this all along, all the way through because we were just like, is this going to close or not? Because the guys would not sign. So they finally signed. So we originally thought that this house, the ARV was going to be like 200, and we
Yep.
were all in at 23,000.
Oh wow. Okay, so mortgage was free and clear. This was tax delinquency.
It
Okay.
was just tax. So we were all in, sorry, we were all in to the heirs 23, and
Yep.
then there was like $6,000 of back owe taxes. And then we also, another thing that we like to do and going forward, I'm doing, and I know Alex does this all the time, is that we say, hey, we're going to pay the attorney, we're paying the probate, we're paying this. You're going to net this. Don't worry about anything else. You just sit back, kick back, and wait until closing day to get your money, and you're done.